Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Linda Israel, and thank you so very much for coming to my live stream here on YouTube. I greatly appreciate your support and for taking the time to come here and hang out. There are a few things that I want to go over before the actual live started, so this is a recording. First of all, I want to make sure that you like this video and subscribe, so give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. When you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell up in the corner. That way you'll get a notification whenever I upload a video. I have a broadcast post or even a live stream. If you're watching this video as a replay and you're on a computer, look for the little gear at the bottom. You can change the speed to speed it up. Or if you're on a mobile device, look for the little three dots and usually you can change the playback speed there. My live streams generally last about 2 hours. They can go as long as 3 hours. It kind of depends on what we're working on that day and how the feedback is in the chat. While you're watching, you earn junk bucks. So if you are here in order to get those junk bucks accumulating, go ahead and type hello in the chat and my little bot, Junkie Joe, will see you and then you'll start accruing junk bucks. And you're wondering, well, what do I do with those junk bucks? Well, you can accumulate those, and once you have 2,000 of them, you can type !award and you can redeem them for a $10 off coupon to my shop. You can earn junk bucks while you're here and when you are chatting, as well as when you play the in-chat game. So look for those as they come up, and if you make a donation. For those of you that make a donation during my live stream, make sure that you go over to my website at lindaisrael.com, and if you haven't already done so, create a user account. When you make a donation during my live stream, basically you're buying a membership to my website and to the live stream. In my opinion, what we're doing is you're accumulating that money in my account. Thank you for that donation. And as a reward, you will get 5% off your orders at lindaisrael.com. And during the live stream, if I have a journal that I'm giving away at the very end, you are eligible to win that journal. Anybody that makes a donation gets into that drawing by manually typing in the raffle at the end, but then you also get the discount membership on my website. Thank you to Robin, who is my administrator during the live stream. She helps me out with answering questions as well as giving information. She is also my administrator over at the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you haven't joined that group, please do. We'd love to have you over there. You're welcome to share what you're working on. Speaking of sharing, during the live today, you can speak up in the chat and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel. You will not be able to share your link to your channel, but you can at least say, hey, my name is, and this is what I do. And then your friends that come into the chat can follow each other. Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. If you will be kind to those that are here. If you have a question, put it in all caps and I'll do my best to answer those. The chat sometimes goes pretty fast, so I don't always see it, so do ask again. And at the same time, if you're in the chat and you know the answer to somebody's question, please speak up and give them the answer. Check the description box for links to products that I share today. Yes, I am an Amazon affiliate, which means I do get a commission on items that you purchase through my link. If you're going to buy something anyway, I greatly appreciate it. It does not cost you any extra. It just gives me a little bit of a commission, which helps me buy products to show you here. If you win one of the raffles, you can start right now by typing !raffle. Do make sure that you go over to my website, and if you haven't already, created a user account. That way I will have your contact information so I can send you your prize. I am starting a raffle right now that is for 200 junk bucks, so you can get well on your way to accumulating your junk bucks. Let's have some fun today and let's get started. Thanks everybody for being here. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Flora, Julie, Call Me Glitter, and Robin. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for inviting people, too. How is everybody? Y'all doing okay? Y'all having a great week, I hope? Here's my nails this week. I decided to put some on that I've worn before that have little butterflies and some music. So thank you, Robin, for being here. Thank you so much for helping out. I know that Robin's going to be taking on a full-time position, so soon she won't be able to help me. So if anybody that comes to my lives is interested in being an administrator, basically you would just help if we have some bad people that are trying to spam us, or if you need to help me share a link, because the average viewer can't add a link, but an administrator can. Moderator, something like that. Alrighty, so, and I don't see Jennifer here yet, and she's the one that asked for this, so that's why I'm doing it. I know many of you do the lifetime time. Okay, Kate. Well, thank you, Robin. Thank you for hanging out with us. I know that many of you probably are like me. You bought paper because it was on sale or it was given to you or whatever the case may be. And then you're looking at it and you're like, you know, that's really not my style, or it doesn't match what I want to work with, and you don't really have anything else that works. So what we're going to do is take undesirable paper and make it desirable. And how do we do that? We're going to add some mixed media to it, whether it be just a little bit of acrylic paint. You may want to stamp over it. You may want to do some foiling. We've got some stencils here. So what else do I have? Just some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, a little bit of everything. So I have this old Tim Holtz pad that was normally $19.99 and it was on clearance for $4.99. And if I know me, it was probably one of those times that everything that you purchase, you get an additional percentage off. And I probably filled my basket at Michael's with all kinds of things thinking, oh, I'll use this. It's Tim Holtz. And I haven't. So all I've been doing is taking these pages and applying some ivory or white acrylic paint. And I did that already on a few pages. I'll show you what I mean, but I wanted to show you that I did do several of these, and I've got them over here to the side. I've got to make sure I've got all of them. So I've got a whole pile here. And what I'm going to do is put some gloves on, get one of those pages, and show you how I start this whole process. Well, Julie, all I can tell you is somebody watched them. I don't know who, but somebody that has access to your account probably watched them, and you can go in and remove them or block them. Okay, so I'm going to grab, and hello, Julie. Yeah, someone has your login, or somebody you know has access to your phone and has been watching them. Okay. A tale of caution. If you have old acrylic paint and you try to use it in this technique, you'll end up with little goobers or boogers. And I have not found a way to get rid of them other than if you want to take the time to run your paint through a strainer to get all of those out, it's probably best just to throw it away or deal with the boogers. And that's kind of what I did, is I had a bunch of it that I was trying to use up a bottle of paint, and every time I would squeeze some out, there was like this little booger that came out. I was like, oh, this is annoying. So I kept messing with it. And finally, after doing several pages, I threw it away. I was like, okay, I've had enough. So all I'm doing is taking a brayer and brayering this paint all over the paper. I may need a little bit more. Now change your password to your YouTube, Google account. That might help. Don't leave your phone laying around. And if they're watching it, it could be watched on a television. So make sure that your television, you either log out or you set it up that no one but you gets access to it. And also, when you're done with YouTube, make sure that you hit stop on the video and close out. Because YouTube, if you let it go, you don't stop the video, it'll just keep playing stuff. Okay, so there's basically one coat of paint. I'd give it a moment to dry. You can hit it with a heat tool, so I'm going to do that for y'all just so you can see how to do it. You can still see the paper underneath a little bit. Thank you so much. Hugs back. Yeah, I would just change your password. That would be the thing to do. Well, you know, you could always ask him. All right. All right, so I'm just going to give another coat of paint here. There's a paint booger, but I'm just going to leave it. All right, so that's the basic of it. I just go ahead. Yeah, he may be messing with you too. And it could have played on its own. So this is 2 coats of paint. I am going to put my brayer. I've got a little tub of water over here because I have done a bunch of these. So I'm just going to clean off that brayer a little bit. I'm just rolling it back and forth in the tub of water. It's wet now. Of course, now I drop water on the the painted paper. So I'm just going to wipe it off. He could be. Men are men, as they say. Okay. So now, I like to do layers. So I've got a layer of acrylic paint on here. That kind of obscures the paper that I didn't like. I just put paint straight on the paper, Naomi. That's all I did. I brayered on just some basic craft acrylic paint. I like the craft paint for this technique as opposed to the heavy body because it accepts the next layer easily. Whereas if you use spread off the bat, the acrylic paint, the heavy body, it's kind of got a plastisol in it. It's plasticky, and so it kind of coats the paper, and you are able to add more layers on top very easily. Yeah, hackers like to get in there and do stuff. All right, so the next thing I like to do is try to decide, okay, where am I going with this? So I want to build layers on here. So I'm going to start with color. I've got a pink, here's a purple, and a little bit of a turquoise. I don't know if I'm going to use all of them. So these are Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. If you don't have a spray pigment, you can make something with water and acrylic paint. You can use Kool-Aid. You can buy dyes. And you can also always just order some Tattered Angels. I do have some in my shop, but you don't have to have it. But I'm going to add a layer of color by spraying it. So I'm just going to spray. And let's go back with some purple. And then I've got a little bit of this turquoise kind of color. So it just kind of gives us this fun background. Now you can stop here if that's something that you like. It's perfect for you. You can stop. You don't have to go any further. But I think I'm going to add some stamping and possibly some stenciling. So I want to make sure that I dry this paper pretty good. Yeah, if you sign out of your account, especially if you're on a Wi-Fi enabled device and you didn't save it in the memory of that device, like a public computer, then you don't have to worry about someone getting into your account. It's just good practice, if especially there's a possibility that someone else could be using some of your equipment, if you will, your cell phone, your computer, or an iPad. It's almost dry. I'm waiting on this one to dry. You don't have a heat gun? Well, it's just going to take you longer. You can use a hair dryer for this technique because you're just trying to dry the paper. You could also spray it and then set it to the side and just let it air dry for a little while. So it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to the next step, if you will. What I have done in the past is just basically set up surfaces that I can put things. You can't see it very well in the video, but over here to my side, I have a little table and I cover the top of it with some protectorant so it doesn't get onto my table surface. And I'll lay pieces over there. And then I have a table that goes this way that I will lay things on. And then I've kind of got a couple places in the corner. So if you are going to do a big session where maybe you do 20 or 30 pages, you may want to do it in stages where you paint each page once, and so it's got one layer of paint on it, and you set it aside, and you just keep going until you have the stack that you want to do done, and then you go back to the first one and start painting it a second coat, and just keep doing that and lay them to the side, lay them to the side, lay them to the side, lay them to the side. Does that make sense? And then spray them, lay them to the side, do the next one, and you just kind of take your time and make a day of it in a sense. All right, so I've got a little bit of some Tattered Angels. That one's still a little wet up there, so I'm going to blot it with a paper towel. All right, so now I'm going to grab a stencil. What do I want? What do I want? I've got one of my stencils, and I'm going to grab a blending brush. You know, I just got the re-inker for Dusty Concord. Now what did I do with it? Is it in here? There it is. Dusty Concord. I'm going to add a little bit re-inker on here, so that's going to make that really wet. I should have done it earlier. Okay. Just kind of blending it into the pad a little bit. Now this is going to be really, really wet, so I'm going to take my stencil and just quickly layer some color down. Go over here and do the same thing. Maybe a little spot down here. The idea is I'm just adding pattern and color to the page so that when I possibly cut this up to use for something, that I have a little bit of some neat patterning. Just going back in with a little bit lighter touch. Okay, I'm going to put my stencil in my water over here to the side and put away the Dusty Concord. Now, with Distress Oxide inks, you can spray it and it will kind of diffuse it. So I'm going to get a bottle of just water and spritz over it. I think my bottle's almost empty. I need to put some more water in it. So it kind of diffuses it a little bit. It made this section a little bit darker. I didn't hit all of it. I am going to use my heat tool again. So if you don't have a heat tool, you could use a hair dryer. You could get a fan and just set it to the side. Yeah, I'm redoing it. It's just a new paper. Thank you, Naomi. You know what? I'll add you as a admin. Can I do that here, or do I have to do it? I think I have to do it on YouTube. Let me try something while I'm drawing this. Go here. Trying to dry this a little bit. I'm looking for my computer to boot or open the YouTube. Okay, there it goes. It opened. And add as moderator. And okay. There you go. Perfect. All right, let me close this out. Jennifer's here. Oh, good. She hasn't missed out on anything yet. All right, so I've pretty much got this dry. I see a couple of little spots, so I'm going to hit it with my heat tool. All right, so next I would do some rubber stamping on it. And I believe I have this swirl stamp, and I've used it before. Let's use a little bit of Mermaid Lagoon. So I'm going to put a little of that on here. That reminds me, what did I just do with the Dusty Concord? Did I leave it on my desk? I don't see it. I don't want this one. What did I just do with that? I'm losing my mind. I don't see it. Well, I'll find it eventually. All right, so I've got a little bit of ink on there. I've got this swirl stamp. It was something that was given to me that was a product that Tattered Angels made many years ago. So I'm just kind of add a little swirl here and there. Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Did I give you a blackberry, and did you want a blackberry? Because I got one in a pot. I can't remember if yours works. Oh, wait. Why is this on my screen? Go away. I got a little message here. Oh. Why isn't that go? There it goes. It went away. Sorry, I don't think I did anything. Don't worry about that message that Junkie Joe said about you, Naomi. I hit something. Okay. Let's do one more, maybe. Oop. Yeah, see, and you can make your own papers. Just grab some papers and some acrylic paint. You can use rubber stamps and stencils. Yeah, that's just, you got to remember this is a process of layering. So you may not like the way it looks yet, but as we keep going, you'll start to see, oh, I like that. That's better. I'm cleaning my stamp off. I've got a stamp from Beeline Designs. It's one of my favorites of hers that I've had for years. And it's a postcard So I'm just going to kind of add a few spots. Now, if you're wanting a crisp, clean look, you can keep it that way. Just do it, you know, not as messy looking, if this is what you consider messy looking. All right, let's put that back over here. Okay, so I want to add some foiling to this, and I thought I would try a technique where I used a stencil. What do we want? I don't know if I want... I think I like this one. This is the Daisy stencil. And I've got some golden gel medium, gel gloss medium. So I'm going to get a little bit of that. I'm basically going to stamp my dauber, a clean dauber, and then I've got a little tray. So I will rub that off over here. And I'm going to pounce it on top of the stencil. Trying to leave a little bit of this gel medium. All right, I think I'm going to do this corner a little bit. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to move the stencil over. I would possibly, if I were going to do a lot of this, I may add a little bit of acrylic paint to the gel medium so that I know where I put it on the page, because it is transparent and so it's hard to see it. All right, so now I'm going to put my stencil in the water. I'm going to clean off my dauber. So I've just cleaned that off. Okay, so now I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to dry this again with the heat tool. I know you can't see where I put the gel medium. I can't even see where I put the gel medium. But I'm going to dry it. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to use foil. You want the stencil? That was the, I think it's called More Little Daisies. Yes, that was More Little Daisies. Okay. Right, that's what. I tested this earlier, so I hope I get it to work today. I think it's dry enough. So next, what I'm going to do is I am going to use my iron, and I'm going to add foil to this. So this is an ironing pad for quilters, and it has been moved to my craft table. And in this case, I have a large sheet of foil. You can do this on smaller pieces of paper, but I knew that I had this big piece, so I wanted to use it. So I'm just laying the foil on here with the dull side down. So usually foil has a patterned side or a printed side, and then the other side is just plain. I'm going to lay a pressing sheet over it, and I have a little portable iron, and I am just going to iron this. If you have a laminator, you can put your items through a laminator. I don't think my laminator will accommodate a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, but I can use an iron. This is my craft iron. This is what it's dedicated to. You can always pick up a really inexpensive iron. All you need it to do is get hot. I've got it set on the cotton setting. And I'm just going back and forth. I'm probably doing it more than necessary. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. And then we're going to peel this. And this you can reuse until there's no more foil left. And you see that? It probably is flashing out because of the shine of light. Put this up here. So can you see how that has added the foil? Let me see. Linda, I want a blackberry, the one you gave me in water. Okay, okay, all right. I've got one in dirt. Oh, okay. All right. So there is, with a little bit of the gold green foil on there. And so this I can cut up and make pockets out of it, or make a belly band, or use it as a number of different things. What do you think? Do you like how that turned out? That's one way to do it. And I did that with regular gel medium. You could also use the Deco foil transfer. The new style is called Duo. There's a link in my description box so you can see what it really is. That way, if you want to go to your local place and buy it, you can. It will take it to Amazon, and if you buy it on Amazon, I do get a commission, so thank you for that. But the one on Amazon is the new formula, and it's called Duo. You don't have to have heat. You just let it air dry and then press your foil on top of it. And when you peel it back, it sticks. If you want to use a laminator, you can as well. You like that? And it's just a fun paper. So let's make some more. So I'll get another piece of paper. It's curled up, so I'm going to train it to go the other way over the edge of the table. All right, so we've got another one. That was kind of a teal purple. I'm on this kick where I use the same colors quite frequently. So let's, I've got a sapphire blue. It's a much darker blue, which means that any layers we put on here aren't going to be as visible, I think, because it's such a dark color. But let me put just a little bit. And then I've got a purple. This one is a Positive Pop. So it kind of looks spotted. And if you don't like that look and you want to change it, you can add water to it to help kind of diffuse it. I need to add water to my bottle, so I'm doing that over here to the side and making a mess as I do it. There we go. It's a good thing I keep towels handy to clean up my mess. So I'm just kind of spray it with a little bit of water. And that'll help it move just a little bit. All right. I may have waited too long to spray it though. Come back here, towel. All right, let's hit it with the heat tool. How much is it? I think the Deco foil, I'm thinking it's under $15. I know the golden gel medium is about $15 on Amazon. $9. Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure how much it was. I know it was under 15. And then I have a package of foil that I bought just for this. The link to it is in the description box. You get all of these little pieces, and they are 5.9 inches wide by 4.26 feet long. I like the way this background looks. I think what I want to do is I'm going to do some stamping, and I have an idea that I want to try. So I need a stamp that's going to be a larger image possibly. So let me look real fast. What would work? I've got this daisy stamp. This was called Sketched Daisy. And I think I want to stamp it all over. And then we're going to color in the petals of it. So I've got masks that I made whenever I want to stamp something frequently over and over and over again. All right, so I've got my archival ink and I've got a re-inker. I always try to re-ink right before I start stamping, and that makes sure that I have good ink coverage. Okay. I need an acrylic block. Here we go. So here, I'm going to take this glove off so I can use this hand better. Okay, go over there. All right. So I'm going to stamp this flower. And I'm going to lay down a mask over it. I may need more masks, but we'll see what happens. All right, so this one I don't need anymore, so I'm going to move it over here. All right, and then I'm going to lay a mask here. Oops, come on. And I'm going to lay this mask over here. So what a mask is where I've taken this image and stamped it on a piece of copy paper. And then I use Zig two-way glue. And I just scribble on the back side of that copy paper that I stamped and fussy cut everything out. And that gives me, in essence, like a sticky note that I can use over and over again to make cool backgrounds. So like this one, I don't need anymore. So I can go down here, and then I can put this one down. Yes, it takes a little time if you're doing a big piece of paper. I'm going to go ahead and stamp all of those. Just peel up, lay it down, peel up, lay it down. Try to get it straight. And I can pull those out. Okay, this one can go here. Oop, gotta get it straight. All right, and then I'm gonna come up here. You see how it's all starting to fill in the page? All right, let's go here. And we'll go here. Go right there. Go off the page a little bit. And then put one here. I don't know why I like this technique. It's just a fun way to alter paper, make it your own. You could do this on book pages. You could do it on scrapbook paper, junk mail, whatever you want. The pieces of paper, I'll show you. I'll just get a piece of paper. Give me a moment to grab a piece of paper. So I got a blank piece of paper. I took my stamp and I stamped it on here. Okay. I flipped this over. I've got Zig two-way glue. I can kind of see where my flower is, and I'm just going to scribble some glue on the back side. I don't know if you can see it's a slight shade of blue there. I'm going to let this air dry for a moment, and then I fussy cut it out, and that becomes a temporary mask that I can lay down. And when I stamp over it, it gives this layered effect. Otherwise, if you just stamp, you're going to have your image stamped on top of the previous one. And by doing the mask, it gets this look as if they were all layered. Need one more right here. Let's borrow that one. And let's put one right here. Okay. Then I'm going to move all these over and do the next layer. Does that make sense? Yeah, it takes away that messy look and makes it look really crisp, layered background. I probably could have cut this paper into smaller pieces, but I kind of like working on the big sheets like this because then you get this large piece of paper that you can use. And it's just so satisfying to have it done. All right, so we're going to put one there, one there, one there, there. And then just layer it back out again. And eventually you'll be done. You'll just have a little corner that you'll need to finish. Oop, that one needs to turn. So it's one of these techniques that once you've done it once, you've sat down and you made all these masks. I save them. I have a piece of transparency film. You could use a sheet protector, and I taped it together, put a little piece of paper in between so I could see what the images look like, and I just close it up, and that way when I'm ready I can use them. I store them with my rubber stamps. Sometimes at the end I can overlap without stamping directly on. All right, so get rid of this. And then I'll put my masks back in my little folder because they can be used over and over again. And so this one that I put the glue on, so look, it will stick to my finger. And I just turn it over and get my scissors. And then I would just fussy cut this out. Does that make sense? And then you end up with those. If it's too sticky, you can stick it to your clothing to pick up a little bit of lint, and then it won't be near sticky. I'm going to sit this in here in case I want to use it another time. Like here's some I started, but I didn't cut them out yet, so I just put them in my folder. All right, so now I have this paper that I have added a background to, and I've added the stamped images to. So now I can color in all of these images. And I was going to test something. I forgot to do it earlier, so I'm going to do it right now. I've got a piece of paper, and I'm getting a paintbrush. All right, I'm going to dry that real fast. I don't know how well the acrylic paint is going to work for this idea that I have, so I'm going to test it real fast. Got my little, lay this over here. I got a piece of that foil, just a smaller piece. Lay that down. I'm curious if it will stick to the heavy body acrylic paint. It may not, but I thought I would try. It does. Okay. Do y'all know where I'm going with this? So, I have a couple of pieces of foil here. So how about if we do the centers? What color should I do in the center? Is this in a tray? I'm trying to see which way. Okay, it goes that way. So it has a little tray. So if I want the foil look, I could paint the petals. I could also put dots in the centers of the flowers, but I don't know that I want to do both of those at the exact same time. So how about if I get a brush, and I've got some of this is Lake Blue acrylic paint. Let's see what happens if I kind of just loosely paint these. I don't know if I like this idea because it's going to take me a while to pick up the paint and paint it. But if you're doing a small little project, I could see where this would be really kind of cool. I'm going to do a corner here and then see how it turns out. I may like the acrylic paint better. I mean, watercolor paint. Or I've also got, I think I have my alcohol markers right behind me. I don't know. I don't know if I like this. Oh, meaning use the deco foil as a stamp pad? You could probably do that. You're going to have to work quick to get it done. All right, that's almost dry, so I'm going to hit it with the heat tool real fast. All right, get my... Oh, I couldn't find my little ironing board. Lay that there. I know it's going to be kind of hit and miss, so let's see what happens. We may not like it. Still got my iron on behind me. Okay. unusual look. I don't know. I think I kind of like it. Where it didn't always stick, you see a little bit of the acrylic paint underneath it. And then I'm going to come back and just put dots on the centers. I think that's going to look cool. So let me get another color of paint. All right, there's my paintbrush. I've got some gold. This is a pearlized bright gold, only because if it doesn't stick, the gold will be there. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of gold right here. All right, we'll dry that. Yeah, do it in patches, not do the whole page. Hey, Elijah. Okay, so I got the gold. So now I'm going to grab some of the gold foil here. I can pop it out of the little tray. Why do they put a piece of tape on there that you can't get off? Ugh, that's so annoying. Well, let me see if I can get the tape off. I may have to get my craft knife if I can't get my scissors in here. Let's see. Come on. That's annoying. I hate it. Don't tape a product shut. Instead, it should have had like a little piece of paper wrapped around it. And it's a thick sticker because it's not coming off very easy. But I got it. See, and it ruined part of it. Ugh. I don't need a very big piece, so I'm just going to badly cut one, apparently. Ugh, I'm frustrated already. Oh my goodness. Okay, put that in there. So I'm going to get my ironing board again. I'm going to put my craft knife up so I don't stab myself. All right, then I'm going to get my... So lay this over and then iron it real fast. And now the gold may stick in a couple of other places because... But that looks okay, I think. What do you think? Maybe, like you said, just do it in sections. Gotta drink more water. It's important for your body. Okay. You want me to keep working on this one? I kind of want to, just to see. I'm going to clean off my brush. If you do it fast, just kind of adding a little bit of color. Maybe I'll leave a couple of them empty and just do a few at a time. Goes a little faster with the heavy body paint because it's a thicker paint. Okay. We're cooking now. What I may do is, once I've got all of the green done, is come back in and do every center with gold. So at least the center would stand out a little bit. What do you think? One right here, maybe? And because it's the acrylic paint, it dries pretty quick. This is the heavy body acrylic paint. I can't get my words out. And maybe over here. Sometimes, just taking the time to sit and play and figure out, will this work? Is this going to make something? And don't worry about if it doesn't turn out. Be like, oh, okay, well, I learned. I learned that technique did or did not work. Don't feel like you have failed if it didn't turn out the way you envisioned. Does that make sense? I hope. I'm engrossed in playing here. Let's see. All right. Foil even works on regular glue. It depends on the foil too and how wet your glue is. I found that you need a glue that is tacky enough that when you put it down, there's enough of that surface that will catch it. I believe too, the other thing is if you have a toner based printer, a laser printer, you can use a printed piece to add foil. I don't know. I'm having fun with this. This is kind of neat. Maybe right here. So this one I didn't use a stencil, but I used the stamp. Okay, and maybe right here. Okay. Gold flakes. If you have gold foil flakes, it's the same thing. It's just, instead of it being on a sheet, it's loose. And you can do the same thing. You can put glue down of some kind, lay the foil over it, and get it to adhere. And whatever doesn't adhere will brush right off. I think I need to do one up here, just because there's too many that aren't done. That's too much paint. Okay. All right. I think that works. Do I need to do this corner? Yep, I think so. Only because when you cut this up, you want to have maybe a little section that will be in your piece. Yeah? All right, let's clean my brush off. clean the brush off. And let's dry this. So I started over here and then go across. Oh no. Yeah, it's like using glitter flakes. It's just big pieces. So yeah, so wherever your glue is, whatever your glue that you use, put the flakes over it, and then I press them and I use a soft brush to kind of brush it, and then it'll adhere wherever the glue is. And then once you're done, just brush all of it away. But they are messy, yes. Yes, flakes are messy. I think some of these glues or paint spots are still a little wet, but oh, I got glue. I need to cover this because I've already got glue paint on it. I'm going to use this same piece, and if I have to move it around, that's okay. I need this piece. All right, so I'm going to iron the whole thing, and then I'll lift it up, and if I need to add more, then I'll just move the foil around. All right, so I'm going to lift this. And I may need to get another piece. So I'll kind of see what happens if I do that. I'm just moving it around. It might be less frustrating to just use a whole new sheet. But it's getting there a little at a time. Let's try this side here. Don't burn yourself because it gets hot. I kind of like that mottled, not perfect effect too. Let's put some down here. Cool. I don't know how many times I can do this. Let's see where else I need some. I think that one needs some, but that paint may not be sticky still. I may have ironed it too many times. Thank you, Call Me Glitter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, it's stuck. I wasn't sure if it was going to. I like this technique. This is kind of cool. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more. And you move it around and it'll stick wherever there's still an open space. What do you think? Think that's good enough for now? And I think I'm just going to come back in with the gold and paint the centers. If I need more, I'll put more. I think this is a fun technique. All right, so who's going to start playing with their ugly papers? I mean, undesirable paper. And making something new out of it. Thank you, Jennifer. So it's true mixed media. You know, we're using the paper, acrylic paint, we're using rubber stamps, we use Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, I use some foil, heavy body acrylic paint, craft paint. And I was just basically using the stamped image as a way to figure out where to apply the color. And I think this time I'm not going to come back in with the gold foil. I'm just going to leave this gold metallic paint. I think that's enough. Isn't that cool though? I like it. You will, your coffee dye ugly papers, and yeah. Sometimes they're still ugly. Yeah, just add some paint. Hey Tanya, welcome. You have hideous paper that's been sitting there for years. Well, this is how to do it. I mean, that's what the other side looks like, but I just added acrylic paint. All right, let me set this aside to dry. Let's get another. All right, so what do we want to do this time? My paper curls because you're only painting one side, and so the moisture causes the page to curl up. You're welcome. Thanks for coming in. All right, so that was kind of a purpley show. Those kind of go together. So maybe we need to do a couple more the same color scheme. So basically the same, but maybe little variations. I've got pink and this turquoise. So let's see what happens. So this is Party Pink, and this is Curious. So it kind of gives a little muddled effect. Now, do we want to stamp over this, or do we want to stencil? I think we're going to stamp first. So let me look for a different stamp that I can go all over while that dries. Oh, yes. I had a large butterfly from Beeline Designs. Nope, that won't fit on that block. I guess I need a bigger block. Okay. It's still a little wet, so I'm going to dry it with my heat tool. And I need to move the iron so I don't burn myself. I almost had a catastrophe there. You're looking at your desk going, I got to clean so I can paint. I understand. That's what I had to do today. Do I have green Tattered Angels? I struggle with greens and yellows. Okay, yes, I do have some greens. Let me, we'll do a set with green. Green and yellow. Okay. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to do stenciling first over this, and then do some stamping on top. I believe. All right, I've got the Feeding Frenzy stencil, and let's use the we'll use the Mermaid Lagoon again. What did I just do with her? Oh, I didn't use it. There it is. That's not the stamp pad I want yet. I almost messed up. Okay. So we're going to go here. Adding color. All right, so I'm going to lift the stencil up and then kind of line up so I can continue on over here. You know you're serious when you got your tongue out, right? And then we're going to come here. Let's see. Get it lined up. Gonna line it up. Don't go too far when you line it up. Alrighty. Going across the page. Here we go. I like how this looks. I hope you're enjoying this, that I'm giving you some ideas on altering those undesirable papers that you may have. Like that. Alright, so there's that pattern across there. I need to clean this stencil, so I don't think we'll use it again today, so I'll put it in my bucket of water. If I can get it to go in. Come on, what are you hanging up on? There we go. Put the stamp pad away so you can find it another day. Alright, so now I've got this jet black. I don't have a mask made. I think what I may do is stamp this and then come back with a smaller one. What do you think? I got to make sure I get good ink coverage. Go off the page a little bit. Okay. Maybe right about. Try not to make a pattern where it's all going in the same setup, but I want to cover up the page a little bit. Probably should do one off the page down here. And maybe right here. Okay, so let me find a different stamp. Of course, it's not in the first place that I look, is it? Oh, wait. Is it over here? That's why I couldn't find it? Yeah, that's why I couldn't find it. I've been busy this week. I worked out in the yard. I'll post some pictures when I get done later. I moved some pavers that have been bugging me because I felt like they were too close to the flower bed, and it made it difficult to walk over there. So I thought, well, if I move them over, and then I made a rock border between the pavers and the actual bed. I think that turned out pretty cool. All right, so here's a different butterfly in a different size. And I'm just kind of filling in. I like it. I like it. Now I can leave it like that, and later I could come back and paint the butterflies, or I could add foil to them. What do you think? You love butterflies and dragonflies? Yeah, me too. All right, see you later, Naomi. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, you've been Tanya says she's been an acrylic artist for 7 years, still very much a beginner. Your HB heavy body paints will work thinned out with water or a medium. Gesso is cheaper, but I'm thinking it's too chalky. Nope, just go. You just don't think about it. Just do it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Call Me Glitter. So, Tonya, it kind of depends on what your goal is. In this technique, I use the craft paint on the bottom layer. If you use a heavy body paint, it's going to be that plasticky feel on top of it, you know, because you're an acrylic painter. I would pick up a cheap bottle of white paint. I don't care for gesso. I don't like the texture that it leaves on paper. It's too rough. This, you can still write on it if you want to. So that's just kind of what I think. And in this case, the ink is pooling on top, so you will want to set this aside to dry or use a heat tool to dry it. Otherwise, if you touch this, the ink will smear. All right, so Naomi wanted me to do something in yellow and green. I know I have a green Tattered Angels here. This one's really dark, though. Here's a lighter shade of green. Let me get some more colors. This one's kind of a neat green. I don't know. There's green. All right, so we've got some greens. And you said yellow. I think my yellows are in here. Some of these are kind of empty, so it's a lighter yellow. Let's get one more yellow. One more yellow. Are these all the same? Spicy mustard. They look the same to me. Yeah. They look the same. There's 3 yellows, 4 yellows. Okay. All right. I already have paper that I have painted, so I'm just going to grab one here. Just rolling it over the edge so it lays flat. All right, so I've got some greens and yellow here. So let's start with, I'm going to start with this one. This is emerald green. I'm going to shake it up really good. I'm totally overthinking. Gesso is chalky. Yes, I'll get the cheap bottle of craft paint. Sorry for the questions. Oh, no, I understand. Yeah, no, I would just get a bottle of cheap craft paint instead of gesso for this technique, because you don't need the higher end product. Yeah, everybody overthinks some things. Hey, Dawn, welcome. So glad to have you here. All right, so I'm going to spray this. Ooh, look at that green. And I'm going to add just a little bit of this darker yellow. Well, if it works. It may not work. It's been sitting there for a long time. Oh, don't do that. Yeah, it's time to clean that nozzle out. Let's try this one. Well, good grief. Don't be like me. Whenever you put things up, make sure you clean the nozzles off of your Tattered Angels. I sometimes forget. Yeah, well, last one. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to get a sprayer out and see if I have one in my extra box. Yeah. Okay. In here. Find one that's not too far from the color that I need. Well, do I have any that I haven't opened? Ah, I do. Nope, that's lids. There they are. What I need to do is take the sprayers off of these and soak them in hot water, and that will loosen up the paint so I can use these again. All right, so now let's do some little bit of yellow. I don't know if you can see that yellow. Can you see the yellow on there? Let's dry it a moment. That was this color that I got to work. I'll throw these over here. Okay. I need a drink. Yeah, ask away. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. I'll make a best guess if I can. I know Naomi had to leave, and this was for her, but she can come back and watch this later. Maybe I'll snap a photo so she'll have it. Okay. Now let's get a stencil. What do we want to use? I kind of like this one. I think this is called Quilted Hearts. And I'm going to get a green Tattered Angels. Or not Tattered Angels. What do you call this? Distress Oxide. Let's see if Mowed Lawn is dark enough. It may not be. I may need to move to something like Forest Moss. So let's get the green. Got it. So I'm kind of going off the page just a little bit. Now, does that look... Oh, that looks good. I think that'll be perfect. And it's a big, bold image. Come all the way down. Add the color. Go this way. This way. I make all my stencils, those of you that are new, and I do offer them in my shop. So if there's one that you're looking for, you can shout out and get you the link. Okay, I think I got, what happened here? Is that where it goes? Okay, I have to get it lined back up again. I got it. All right, now we'll come down here. It's real subtle on this page. I wonder what this would look like if we were to stamp in a yellow over top of it, or if it would be better to have something in gold. Thinking out loud. What do I want to do? I've got that green foil, so I could use the green foil on top of this. Is that what I should do? Okay. Aw, thank you so much. You're so sweet. You decided that with the gel plate slap, Happy Grunge is a talent and I don't have. Aw. You just have to play. You have to let yourself play. And again, you can't worry about if something didn't come out perfect when you were working on it. Either it happens or it doesn't. And just keep going. Sometimes I have no idea what's going to happen. It's just whatever comes together. I need a bold stamp. If I were to stamp it with a yellow, I got lemonade. I've got mustard seed. That might be a good one. I don't know. I guess I don't really have a bunch of yellows. I have lemonade, marigold, which is more peach. So, what could we do? And would it show up? That's the thing. Let me look over here. I've got this little flower bundle that I think will be bold enough that if I use it, you can see it. I could also do that swirl stamp. Where'd it go? It's here. I could use the swirl stamp or I could use this flower stamp. Let me get a block. I need a stamping block that will fit my needs today. Are you talking about Margie? Family feline? I always say it wrong. Margie. I could, let's see what happens. It's not real heavy. I don't know, maybe that's the key though. Just kind of stamping this to give another layer of color. I don't know. I think if we go over this with something in black, that'll make a good background. Or it could stop there and then it's ready to go for another layer later on. Gotcha. Margie. She's asking where Margie is. She may be in something else right now. Okay. There's some yellow over that. I don't know. I think that makes a pretty background. Yeah, Margie. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it. I could stamp a dragonfly on there, but I think I'm going to leave this as it is because I think that'll be a pretty paper, and especially if I cut little pieces to make pockets or even make a journal card and then put another piece over the top of it. All right, we got one here. Do I do another green and yellow? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So that was this green and that yellow. I've got kind of a, this is called Bahama Blue. It may not be green enough. Ah, Marianne has a retreat going on in Yukon, and she loves Marianne, so I'm sure she's supporting her. Gotcha. It's not a dark shade of green. It's more blue than green. You're kidding me. This is a brand new sprayer. Wow. It must be the color. I may have to, well, you know what? We can find a way. I'm just going to throw ink on it. Why not? Can't spray it? Oh, fling it. I kind of like it. Fling it. Just to fling it. I like it. Okay. Yeah, I know she does a lot of the online stuff because she likes to stay at home with her cupcake. All right, so we need a stencil over this, right? Oh, I have this rose stencil. I wonder what color I have on top of it. Getting this Tattered Angels to dry. The Bahama Blue has a real pretty iridescent shimmer to it. I know y'all can't see it on screen, but I like it. Getting it to dry. You know what I haven't done in a while is I haven't done an embossing. Who wants me to do some embossing? Aw, thank you, Comic Glitter. All right. Oop, I almost had a problem there. All right, we got this one, and I have this rose stencil. I don't know if this yellow mustard seed is dark enough, so we're going to try it. See what happens. Oh, that'll be a cool background, I think. Put this up here where I can read you better. I think this one would be cool to add a little text on it using like, I think I have the Beeline Designs, an older stamp that has, it's 1912. It's got big handwritten letters. Doing the whole sheet. Wow, it's already 5:17. I didn't realize what time it was. I'm just sitting here playing away. Alright, so we'll move this over. Better move up a little bit. Let's see. There's one. Come on down. Come on down. Alright, so then we'll do this side. Trying to get it lined up as best I can. There we go. Oh, not quite. There. Most of my stencils have a repeating design like this, so it's easy to line them up. There's a few that were not made where they replicate, and I hand pieced each one, so you won't be able to move the stencil over like this. You'll just have to kind of guess and get your pattern out by spacing it. What? Doesn't want y'all to play. Junkie Joe's being stingy today. That's funny. I don't know why. It's just because you're here, Bonnie. That's why. It's all you. Bonnie's he's picking on you. There's with the yellow all over. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me see if I can find that 1912, because I think that would look good to kind of just kiss the page with that scripty stamp. Might be in here. Of course, now that I say it and I want it, I can't find it because I probably put it in the wrong spot somewhere. That's usually how it goes, right? Of course, I have a bunch of Beeline Design stamps, not just 3 or 4. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened to it. Alright, did I look here? Well, fine. I'll use a different stamp. Oh, this is one. I can use this one. This will work. Okay. I got a stamp. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go shut the back door. I think the dogs went out and then they come back in. Okay. All right. Yeah, if you got a big shot embossing folders, you don't have to do the embossing with embossing powder. All right, so I'm just going to kind of ink this up loosely and plop it down in a few places. The most imperfect, the better. Because remember, these are bases for something else. It could be that we'll use this as a base to make a card or a pocket or a tag. Like that. It's ready to go. All right, let's put that over here. Let's put this away. Since I did the purples in a set of 3, let's do one more green. This time I have a little bit different shade of green, so I don't know how well it's going to turn out. This one is called Artsy Green. It's real dark. Clean the nozzle. See if it will. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Come on. Well, apparently it's going to be a pain, so we're going to get a bigger paintbrush. Okay, I want this to bloom out a little bit, so I'm going to get some water. And that should help this move a little bit. I'll use my heat tool. I'm going to do this. I'm just taking a paper towel and pouncing it all over. Okay. And I'm going to grab a different shade of green and come back in here and add a little bit more. Oh, that's cool. Just layers. Lots and lots of layers. I understand, Robin. I understand. Yeah, that's okay. We understand. Thanks for just being here for the little time that you can. What happened to Jennifer? She run away? I see she started an FFA. Yeah, I need to soak up all my sprayers. I just don't want to work today. Well, did you like what I shared today? Does this give you some ideas to try? I hope it does. All right, let's get a different stencil. This one's called a waffle flower stencil. So I think that one looked good on here. And we'll do it in that same yellow. Mustard seed. Let's see how that looks. It's not real dark. Let's see how this looks. It's showing up. It may not be perfect, but that's okay. We can accept it for the way that it is. If I could tell kids anything this day, it would be, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Do your best and get there. learn from it. And the next time, it'll be better. Especially if you're trying something for the very first time. Alright, slide this over. Oh, I guess I ought to do it where I can match the pattern. Okay. Just getting a little bit of a yellow pattern all over here. And let's line this one up here. Okay. Go all the way across the page. I didn't do any embossing today. Guess that would be another technique to share. We shared the foiling. All right, we're almost done with the yellow. Okay, so I need to find a flower, line it up. Okay, yay! It's a subtle pattern. You see it in there? All right, let's move this over here. We could stamp a flower, maybe? Oh, I have this flower. I've got a lily. If I can get it off the backboard. So it's a little line art lily. Let's stamp that and see how it looks. I'm just kind of spacing it out on the page. How's that? Does that look good? Is that good? All right, well, I made some background papers. I think I'm going to quit early today because Henry is home and I want to eat dinner. And we've made 6 mixed media pages here. Taking my gloves off. Move some stuff out of the way. That goes over here. This needs to go in here. And let me get the papers I made. So this is the yellow and green session. So we've got those papers that are ready to go. And then here was some, I'll kind of, maybe we can see all of that. I think, is this one dry? Yeah, this one's dry. And then how we use the foil. I think I could even come back and use the foil on those pages. And then they would kind of mix in with the others. Oh, you're very welcome. I hope you like the ideas that I shared today. I could see coming back in here and adding the foil here. I know Tanya had asked about, was it Tanya or was it Call Me Glitter, about using the transfer medium as a rubber stamp ink. And I thought I had an actual glue stamp pad, but I can't find it because I've rearranged some stuff and I don't remember where I put it. But if I find it, I'll do some testing with that. But I like how this turned out. I could see, like I said, adding some foil to this one. Maybe if I can get the stamp to work. And you would want a bolder stamp like the butterfly. I could probably stamp the butterfly, a bold one in here, and then do the gold foil or that foil on top. Like this one would be good to do that butterfly on, maybe. Yeah, I'll make pictures and take pictures. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoyed this. What do y'all want me to do next week? Let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below this video. And if you want me to continue on a mixed media journey, I can do that. I've been cleaning up. I have got another one of these mail sorting cabinets like this behind me. It's in front of me where you have to walk around to get to it. And it has 40 something slots to put drawers into. So I've been cutting the cardboard boxes and getting them all to fit and putting those over there. So I've been sorting things. I've been coming across stuff that I haven't used in forever. So I'm trying to decide what to do with it. If I'm going to take a picture of it and post it online for sale or just put it in a box and send it to Goodwill or throw it in the trash. I haven't decided yet. Y'all have a great day. Let's pick a winner of the junk bucks. Sorry, I meant to do that. Winner of the junk bucks is Bonnie. All right, Bonnie, I'll get that added to your account. So go Bonnie. Search. And I think Bonnie had different accounts, so I don't know if this is the right one. Edit. So that would make that +7, 8, 9. Yeah. 9. Submit. Alrighty. Sheila, hey, how are you, Sheila? Thanks for stopping in today. All right, well, I'm going to get off here. Y'all do something creative this week. Take some time to experiment. You know, look at the supplies you already have and see what you can do. Maybe you have some not so pretty papers that you're not using, but if you altered them, you would use them. You can go with a vision, meaning maybe you want some blue purpley papers or you want some green yellow papers, and start with that. See how it turns out. If it doesn't work, do not get upset about it. Just say, okay, I learned that didn't work together, but taking that knowledge, what can I make work together? And then make something with it. Also, let's just be kind out there. You never know. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Julie. You never know what someone's going through, what's happening in their life. So share a little bit of kindness, an encouraging word, say hello and smile to somebody that maybe you've never talked to before. It's interesting to me when Henry and I go out places, I'm just a happy person unless I'm sick. So I usually have a smile on my face, and people notice that. It makes a difference. They may not be smiling, but because I am, they smile, you know, and sometimes that strikes up a conversation and it opens that communication channel with others. So try to be, you know, nice to somebody else. You never know what they're going through. All right. Well, I'm going to clean up here. I got to take some pictures and post this in the Facebook group and on my Facebook page. If you have comments about what I should do next time, let me know here. Let me know on Facebook. Send me an email. Email me at lindaisrael.com. That's my email address if you want to send me an email. And I'll see what I can do, okay? Yeah, Julie, exactly. Thank you all so very much for being here. You know, I know that there's so many things that are going on in life now, and you may have other things that you could be doing, but you chose to come and hang out with me and see a little bit of mixed media making some pretty papers. All right, everybody, y'all have an amazing week. We'll see you next week. Lots of love to everybody. Bye.